We're starting off with the latest coming in from France, where a French court convicted Dominique Pelicot of aggravated rape for committing and orchestrating the mass rape of his now former wife, Gisèle. The court further convicted all the defendants in the mass rape trial with no acquittals. Dominique Pelicot was found guilty by the court in the southern city of Avignon. He faces a maximum term of 20 years in jail. Following the verdict, supporters of Gisèle cheered and applauded outside the court.
So we have just learned that Dominique Pelicot got 20 years. Since the beginning, we thought that this was not enough, but we knew it was a maximum sentence.
72-year-old Dominique Pelicot has admitted to drugging Gisèle for almost a decade. So he and strangers he recruited online could rape her. 72-year-old Gisèle has become a feminist icon at home and abroad for refusing to be ashamed and revealing her identity. She waived her right to a closed trial, preferring to stand up to her aggressors in court. Alongside her ex-husband, 50 other men, aged 27 to 74, have been on trial, including one who did not abuse her, but raped his own wife with Dominique Pelicot's help. On November 25, prosecutors requested the maximum sentence against Dominique Pelicot for aggravated rape. It's widely expected that Dominique Pelicot will receive the full 20-year term, but considerably more uncertainty surrounds the sentencing of the other defendants. Dominique Pelicot's lawyer spoke to the press, meanwhile, after the verdict, declaring that she has taken note of the court's decision and also added that her client has not yet decided whether he would appeal, for which they have 10 days.
We are not authorized to criticize a court decision. The only way we can contest it is to appeal. And once again, I repeat, we will use a 10-day period we have been given to make this decision and find out whether we should be submitted to a jury of people again in the coming months.
Move on then. Remember, this is a rape trial that has ignited reactions not just from within France, but from around the world as well. Dominique Pelicot found guilty in fact, the French court sentencing Dominique Pelicot to 20 years in prison and finding 46 other men guilty of rape, 2 of attempted rape and 2 of sexual assault. Remember, this is also a case that has been covered not just within France, but around the world, given the intensity, given the magnitude of reactions that it has triggered. The 72-year-old Gisèle Pelicot has emerged as a feminist icon. Let's get in further perspectives now on the broadcast. Joining us from Paris is Philippe Moreau-Chevrolet, political analyst and communication expert at the iconic agency in Paris. Let me begin by asking you for the reactions that have come in to what the court has said. If my voice is going through to you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. What is the reaction?
Oh, the reactions. Okay. And it was very welcomed. I mean, all of the defendants have been judged guilty, so that was the main purpose of this trial, which was a massive trial. It was to demonstrate that rape can't be non-intentional. It's always intentional, and it has legal consequences. That point has been made, even if the sentences that were given were not always as harsh as expected. The main purpose of this trial was to demonstrate that rape is indeed a crime and should be punished accordingly.
Right. Right, as we were just outlining for our viewers, this is a case which has ignited and triggered, in fact, a lot of reactions, not just from within France, but from around the world. Also, the very fact that Gisèle Pelicot has chosen to not opt for a closed trial, and the way in which she has emerged as a feminist icon. If you can tell us more about that.
Well, it was unexpected. Usually, it's not a public audience. It's in private, and it's always chosen for the pretense of protecting the victims. But all the time, it was more protecting the people, the guilty people, than the obviously the victims. So she chose to break that. She chose to go public. She chose to tell the world that what was happening. And it's unprecedented because it's the very symbol of domestic sexual violence. It's a taboo in France as well, and so that's the first time that such a case is made public, and that we talk openly of domestic sexual abuse, and that it's even becoming a political debate, and it's international. She has become really a symbol, a spokesperson for all the women and children that have been victimized. So it was not expected. Usually, France has the same taboos as everywhere else. We don't talk about these things. We barely judge them, and when we judge them, often it's not a public debate that we have. It's like we will look elsewhere. We will prefer to look elsewhere. She forced us to focus our attention on this massive problem.
Right. Can you also outline for us a little bit more about what the court really said about what Gisèle Pelicot had to go through?
Gisèle Pelicot had to go through a very public humiliation that lasted for weeks and months, because each time a defendant did choose not to plead guilty, they had to disclose the video of the abuse. She has to endure all that, and she's the kind of a hero because she accepted all that, and she accepted the public humiliation. She accepted the stigma. She took the risk of all that because she believes that it was needed for our public debate. So that's the power that she has really now is completely the reverse of the victim that she was. She was sedated. She couldn't even realize what was happening. She was not conscious of what was happening, and it lasted for years. And nowadays, she reversed that, and she took things in our own hands, and she's a spokesperson. She's fighting for us in a way. So it's a moment that is again unprecedented, and I think it will last. It will have long-lasting consequences. We hope that. Anyway, I know it happened also in India and elsewhere. I mean, we need to have these debates publicly because the stigma needs to, be disposed of. We need to get out of these stigmas. We need to acknowledge the victims for what they are, and we need to, move ahead.
We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast.